Welcome back to In the Garden. I am joined here by Austin from Grange Co-op, and today we're talking about clematis vine plants. Now, this is one of your favorite topics and plants to talk about. They're a gorgeous plant. What can you first tell us about these really pretty plants?
So clematises are heavily sought after because of their flowers, and they're easy. They're not very high maintenance plants. They're very easy to take care of. They grow like a wildfire. And people love seeing fast growing plants. They love seeing what they're gonna do. The flowers too themselves are very beautiful, very good for pollinators, hummingbirds, bees, anything that's out there.
Very cool. And so we have two plants here. This is with it flowers and bloomed.
Yes.
And then after it turns into these funky little balls. I don't know what you even call those.
So those are just the after blooms. That's where the seeds are going to form from. So these are at two different life stages in their lives. So like she said, we have the one that's currently in bloom, and we have one that is after bloom.
Very cool. And so what do we have here? Is this something that you can hang your vines on?
So this is the recommended kind of trellis that we're going to use. This one obviously is not very big, probably not going to hold a massive clematis vine, but this is the general style that you'll want to use for your clematis. They make them much bigger, much smaller, but the bigger the better for clematis.
Okay, and so also we have some fertilizers here. What's the best way to utilize these guys for our vine plants?
Okay, so these vine plants, they have different stages of their life. They have foliar growth, they have bloom, and then they have after bloom, which we have here. So we have a high nitrogen fertilizer here. This is going to be best for when you're in veg, when you're growing mainly just leaves. So in the early spring, when these kind of start to come back to life, this is what you're going to want to hit them with. Later on in the season, once they start putting on buds and flowers, you're going to want to hit them with a higher phosphorus and potassium fertilizer that's really going to utilize that phosphorus and potassium to produce vigorous buds.
Okay, and is there ever a situation where you might, not water enough and might need to pick off some dead parts? Or
So kind of yes and no. During the spring, you do want to do a nice pruning up, find dead things that have no buds. You'll just chop those off. They're just a waste of space. And then right here, now that we're past our bloom, if we want to utilize more blooms, what we'll do is we'll do what's called deadheading. And that's what's going to happen is we're going to cut off these already bloomed flowers, and that's going to give the plant more energy. So instead of the plant using its energy to form seeds in these pods, it's going to take that energy to producing more foliage and more blooms. If you're looking to produce seeds, just go ahead and leave them on there. They'll do their thing, and you might still get some more blooms out of them.
All right, well, if you would like to purchase some gorgeous long-hanging vine plants, you can head over to a Grange Co-op to learn from the best and pick up a beautiful plant like this, or of course you can head over to our website at kdrv.com. Thanks so much for joining us in the garden.